Alright, that break score will be a 3. So in essence, you're trying to do 3 things on a break, and each one of those things is worth 1 point each. So the scores you could get could be 0, could be 1, could be 2, or could be 3. And that break score will be a 2 because of where the 1 ball is. And I'm going to explain all this scoring system right now. Alright, let's say for a minute we're going to be breaking from the left side of the table. Now you should have a real strong agenda to leave the cue ball in the center of the table, because this is going to greatly increase your chances of getting a good clear shot on the 1 ball and getting the game started. And probably the most important aspect of the break is to make a ball, because if you don't make a ball, you're sitting back down and watching your opponent. And the easiest, most surefire way is to make the wing ball on the left side, because you're breaking from the left side of the table. That would be this 2 ball. And the third thing you want to consider is this 1 ball and leaving it up by the right hand corner pocket, because we're breaking from the left side. This is the short path of the 1 ball. So when you put all that together, it should look something like this. This would be a 3, and you'd end up with a shot on the 1 and a great chance to get to the 3. The 2 ball went on the break. And these are the only 3 things you really control on the break. The rest of the balls you don't have much control over at all. So a common question would be, well, what if we moved to the right-hand side of the table? Then what? Is this plan still the same? How are you going to make the 2 ball? And how are you going to get the 1 ball up by the right-hand corner pocket? Well, everything is the same. It's just a mirrored image. It's the opposite of what we did the first time around. So you're still trying to park the cue ball in the center of the table, but the wing ball would now be on the right side, and in this particular example, it would be the 8 ball. And as for the 1 ball, you're now looking to park it up by the top left-hand corner pocket. And this is what you're left with a great opportunity to run out, and all the chance in the world you can't ask for a better break than this. So here you see it. The odds of running out when you do these 3 things are incredibly increased compared to when you don't do these 3 things. So what if you're cut breaking? The agenda is still the same, to put the cue ball in the center of the table, and I don't care how you get to the center of the table, but that should be your number 1 objective. It's easier for me to use a power break and bounce off the 1 to park it in the center of the table, because you're moving the cue ball less, and the less you move it, the less chance of screw-ups. So now, what if we miss the wing ball, but we make some other ball on the table? Does this count as a point? And the answer might be surprising to you. The answer is yes. We're just trying to do it the easy way. If another ball goes, then luck is a part of 9 ball. It's just that you can't count on that happening. So you should try to dial in that wing ball. Now, here's another question. Let's say you're breaking from the left-hand side and you don't get the 1 ball up by the right-hand corner pocket, but you do get it up by the left-hand corner pocket. Does this count as a point? And the answer is, it depends on what size table you're playing on. If you're playing on a 7-foot bar table, then this is actually the proper break on a 7-foot table. If you're playing on an 8-foot table, an oversized 8-foot table, or a 9-foot table, then no, this is not worth a point. Those breaks should be up by the right-hand corner pocket. And this brings up a whole dilemma with an 8-foot and an oversized 8-foot table. Often you break them like a world champion, and no matter how good you do it, the one ball ends up like this, and now you're in big trouble and you can't really get started without a safety or just going for some crazy shot. And sometimes you'll get an open pocket to shoot a long bank, but it's not very often. And the last thing you want to do is start a 9-ball game with a long, difficult bank. I'm going to show you a series of clips, and some of these clips go back to last year, and they illustrate the dilemma with the 8-foot break. So you can see I was working on publishing a video just covering this one topic, but I just never got around to it. I have so many topics to cover that, not a whole hell of a lot of people play on 8-foot tables, but for those who do, I'm sure you've seen this a million times, and I do have the fix for this. So I'm going to get back on this video when I get back in town, because I'm about to go on a little bit of a road trip. So just watch where the one ball is going. No matter how great it did everything else, you got a serious problem. That one was dry, but so you left your opponent a serious problem, but you never want to leave yourself a problem like this. All the balls are spread perfectly, but you don't have a shot on the one. So does everyone understand how to score a break? If you have any questions or you're confused about anything, you know where the comments are, and I'll get to it as soon as I can. I know I'm a little behind in comments, but I'm doing my best. And now for the game score, and it's real simple. Every ball you make on the run out or the attempted run out counts as a point. And this includes the balls made on the break. And because there's 9 object balls to shoot at, you can just take the balls remaining after your screw up that remain on the table and subtract that number from 9, and that will be the score. Now all of this is without taking ball in hand. The whole object of this exercise is to show you and to pinpoint where exactly you need to work on your game. If you take ball in hand after the break, you're cheating yourself, and you're going to wind up fooling yourself into thinking that you're better than you are, and that's going to get you broke. Now, if you run the whole rack, it's a 10 because you get a 1-point bonus for running the rack. Now, this system wasn't invented by me. I don't take any credit for it, but most of those other guys that are taking ball in hand, I'm telling you, don't do that. Be honest with yourself. If you need help with your break, then work on your break. Let's say you run up to the 7 ball and you made the 8 in the pocket, but you somehow dogged the 7. So the only 2 balls left on the table are the 9 ball and the 7 ball. So just subtract those 2 from 9 and your score would be 7. Or we can take another example. Let's say you run up to the 4 and you get bad on the 4 and you try a desperate shot and you just plain old miss. So you made the 6 on the break, and then you made the 1, the 2, and the 3, and you dogged the 4 ball. So subtract the number of balls left on the table. That will be 5 balls from the number 9, and there you have your score is 4. Or you could just count the number of balls that are in the pocket. But it's imperative to figure out what you did wrong, and in this case, it's probably the 3 ball or whatever got you bad position on the 4 ball is what you need to set up and work on. But before you do all that, mark down your score so you don't forget it. So make a vertical list 1 through 10, and you're going to have 2 columns on that list. One's going to be for the break scores and one's going to be for the game scores. So after 10 games, add those columns up, and any problem you're having will be apparent to you. So let's take the example that you're struggling with your break. When you actually work on your break and you dial things in, your game score will also come up. Soon we're going to add a third column to include the safeties, but I'm still working on this. I'm actually going to the pool room and perfecting exactly how you should score a safety. And it gets a little bit complicated, so I'm trying to make it as easy as I can. And that's it. I'm going to leave you with this 2-pack. I might gab over it. I might not. Like I said, I'm going away for a while. It's going to be at least a week to 10 days. It might be more. So don't expect a video coming anytime soon. Give me at least a week, and you'll see me pop up with probably a whole slew of videos when I get back home. And I'll try to include some footage on where I'm going and what I'm doing and how much fun I am having. I hope you guys have a great rest of your July, and I'll see you soon.